Hi, I'm Chesh. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm drawing a character, well, the main character, for a book I'm writing called Pie Smith to the Elven King. Or Elven Prince, I'm sorry. To the Elven Prince. And it is a fantasy romance novel. I'm a big fantasy nerd, so it made sense, and I love reading romance. So I just wanted to write something like that as my first book, because I wanted to really enjoy what I write, and I thought that that would be a good starting point for me. As you know, I have a lot of artistic hobbies, art being the biggest one, and writing has really taken me by storm. I really enjoy it, so much so that I bought Scrivener, which is like $60. But it's a one-time purchase, and it's really good for keeping all your notes and research and all that good stuff in one spot. But I don't know. The only problem I have with it is you can't look at files on another computer. It also has to have Scrivener on it, and you have to buy it separately for like each computer. And I heard it doesn't work as well on Mac and tablet as it does for Windows and PCs, which I have a PC. I originally wanted to get it for my tablet so that I could type on my tablet and, you know, keep it around and travel well. But again, I heard it wasn't very good with tablets. And I don't think my tablet would have enough storage space to actually run Scrivener well, because it's an older tablet, an older iPad. Which, by the way, I bought it like 6 years ago, and it's still doing really well. So I don't know. I'm not a Apple girly. I mainly got iPad so I could use Procreate on it. But so far, it's been better than any other tablet that I've written with or drawn with. So I don't know, maybe I am an Apple girly. I don't have any other Apple product. Like I have a Lenovo I have a Lenovo laptop, if I could say the words right, and a PC that my dad built for me that I paid for. He built it for me and I paid for everything. Um which was expensive. It was very expensive to build my own PC. It doesn't have to be that expensive, but I needed something that could really run art programs well and games well. So I went ahead and splurged on it a little bit. I did forget to add a CD disc reader, basically. I did forget to add that, so we'll have to get an external one. But anyway, back to the character. Her name is Rosella Grove. She is a halfling, and if you don't know what halfling is, halflings, well, really, I'm using the D&D halfling, basically. They are very short, humanoid creatures that live about as long, a little older than a human. Basically, think Hobbit. They're hobbits. Actually, D&D first started calling them hobbits, and then Tolkien's estate was like, no. And I think they sued them, and they had to change the name to halfling, which makes sense. But yeah, they're little half-sized creatures that really only are a little bit taller than a human's knee, up to a human's knee. I think Rosella is like 3 or 4 feet. I haven't exactly determined how tall she is yet, I don't think, because I really don't think about these things until much later. I know some people, whenever they create a character, they're very, they know their character inside out. They know their height, their age, their BMI, their all that good stuff. And I'm just like, she's a cute creature. I don't know her height yet. I'll decide it later. I just know that she's short, okay? But yeah, she's a little halfling, and she's a pie smith. Well, actually, she starts off as an adventurer, and she ends up being a pie smith. And I won't say how, because that's part of the story, and you gotta read it. No, basically, I'm going to make this story an online story. I don't know where I'll post it yet, but basically, I'm going to make it free to read. You won't. I mean, I guess you could give me a tip, like on Ko-fi or something like that, but I don't know. It's going to be my first story. Probably is it going to be entirely well written, because I won't have. The editor will just be me and my fiance, basically. Yeah, I don't have the money to pay for a professional editor, and I don't really need a professional editor because I am not going to be selling the story, I don't think, anytime soon. Because, I don't know, I just enjoy reading. I don't think I'd make too much money from it. Really, a lot of writers, I'm not saying this to bring down the mood of most writers, but most writers will not make a profit on their books. You'll spend all this money to get somebody to edit it, and do art for it, and all that stuff, and really, you'll never see a dime from it. That's just how it is, because there's so many books on the market. Like, there's so many writers out there. It's hard to be distinguished um, from a group unless you go viral, I guess. Like, I just forgot his name. Travis. He wrote, what is that book called? Um, Legends and Lattes. That's what I'm looking for. Gosh, my brain today is bad. But yeah, Legends and Lattes started off as a self-published book, and then he got really famous for it, and they decided to trad publish it. Or, Overlord. Overlord started off as a web series, and they decided that they wanted to publish it as a novel, and then it got a manga, and then it got a TV show. So, but that's not what it's normally like. It's normally you bring it out there and it just echo. There's nothing there. Um, and I'm not saying this to discourage you from writing. What I'm saying is, if you're gonna write, don't do it for the money. You'll probably never make a dime from it. And if you do, great. That's fantastic. But don't go into art or writing or anything like that for the money of it. Because it takes a lot of blood, sweat, and tears and self-advertising to be able to break into the dome. And you can do everything right, and you'll still hear crickets, basically. And I get that. It's tough out there. Really is tough for creatives, especially right now with the economy and nobody wants to buy um, things. Because art, I'm not saying that you shouldn't buy art from a person, but art is not a necessity. It's not food. It's not shelter. It's not, any of those things. It's a luxury. It is a luxury item, and, that's okay. Most people can't afford art. And with everybody losing their jobs and the job market being as hard as it is, I mean, I'm trying to find a job right now, and it's really difficult. Um, People don't have the money to buy luxury items. Uh, like, I just bought some commission work, and it was great, but it was expensive, and I probably won't be able to do it again for a long time. But it was well worth it, I have to say. It came out, mwah, chef's kiss. So good. The artist, so good. I'll have to do a shout out probably of them on my Instagram or something. But they have a really big following, and I have like no followers, so I don't think me shouting them out will do anything. But I do want to do an appreciation post. I just haven't had the time to post anything yet. I haven't posted anything for a while now because I've just been busy with stuff that I'm not going to say on the internet. But yeah. So Rosella is a rough and tumble kind of person. She thinks she's not very attractive. She has been very downtrodden in her day, very unappreciated. And, she just feels it's time to retire from the adventuring life. She doesn't know what she's going to do with herself, but she loves baking her mother's pies recipes and all that good stuff. And then one day, a little elf blasts into her life. Literally blasts into her life. Like he runs into her life. And I'm going to have to do some art of the elf, because when I draw elves, they're still fantasy elves. You'll still recognize them, but I draw them with like tails and very androgynous and very ethereal. Well, as ethereal as my art gets, I guess. But I just love putting tails on them. I don't know why. Like, I love putting tails on elves. Little fluffy tails that they swish back and forth, and their ears waggle. I love long-eared elves where their ears reflect their attitudes and feelings of the time. But yeah, and you may be asking yourself also, what is a pie smith? Well, put simply, a pie smith is just someone who specializes in baking pies. That's it. I didn't even know if it was a real term whenever I came up with it. But I googled it, and it is. Like, nothing is original. Everything's been created before. It's okay. Like, people are like, oh, I think my work is too similar to this work. I'm like, probably, but, everything is similar to something. Nothing is original. Since the dawn of man, the only way you could have something extremely original is if you were born in the Stone Ages and you came up with fire. And even then, it's not that original because, nature came up with fire before anyone did. So yeah, don't worry too much about it. As long as you're not like straight up copying someone or tracing their work, it's okay to be a little similar to someone else. It's just the way things are, really. I find a lot of times I'm very influenced by media that I see. Recently I watched a Studio Ghibli movie, Whisper of the Heart. And I was like, it made me feel things. It made me want to do things with my life. And that's why I don't watch Studio Ghibli films very often, because oftentimes they make me feel strong emotions that I don't want to feel. And so I don't, even though I adore them. Like Howl's Moving Castle, my favorite movie. Favorite all-time movie, favorite all-time book. But I don't read it, I don't watch it, because it makes me feel things that I don't want to feel. So I watch them rarely. But yeah, something else that really inspired me is I recently watched The Princess Bride. The Princess Bride? And I watched it for the first time just a month ago, and people are like, you just now watching it, you're 30 years old and you just now seeing The Princess Bride? Yes. I never watched it before, and it was so good. I loved how campy it is. It's like, you can't really find movies like that nowadays that have enough courage to be silly, to be campy, while still having a good storyline, still being a masterpiece. It's so funny. I just loved it so much. It inspired me a lot to create things that are a little bit more on the sillier side. Recently I've been doing a lot of series on mental health and my journey with cancer and chronic illness. But, it's been really heavy on me to do art like that. I really just want to do some silly stuff, be silly, write some fantasy, be campy, have fun with it. Now, that stuff doesn't get as much attention as my serious art, I've noticed. But I'm not creating art to be famous, and I'm not creating art to make money from it. I am doing commission work currently, or at least I'm advertising for it. But other than that, I don't sell prints. I've thought about it, but I don't know. But I don't sell prints. I don't do anything like that. And if I did do art, it would probably be a side job. Because I can't do art. I can't churn it out enough to make it a full-time job, to be honest with you. It's just too hard. Too much on me to constantly create new things. I just can't do it. My brain is not geared towards that. I have bursts of creativity with art. Like, I can go a couple of months without doing any art, and then all of a sudden I'll be doing piece after piece after piece. In like 3 days' time, I'll have like 4 pieces of art ready to show. And that's just the way I am. I do it in spurts. When the Holy Spirit guides me, I guess. I'm not religious. Don't come for me. But, yeah, I just am not geared to be an artist professionally, I don't think. Or to do creative stuff professionally, because it wears me down, and my hands and wrists hurt. Like, I have bone problems. I'm vitamin D deficient, and that makes all my bones hurt, and all my wrists hurt. So, me no do it constantly, because I would break my wrist and I'd probably need surgery. And I don't want to do that. I do not want to do that. But yeah, I am thoroughly enjoying the creative process of writing. And I may talk a little bit more later on once I have more about the characters in my book done, or talk about the book more. But as far as that goes, I'm losing my voice, so I think I'll sign off here, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. Oh, also, Rosella is an older lady. I decided to make her, like, I think in her 30s. I have it written down here, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But, yeah, she's an older lady. I decided to make her in her midlife because, I don't know, I just thought it'd be nice to have an older lady protagonist, you know? I don't see that very often. Oftentimes they're like teenagers or early 20s, and they're, you know, they haven't lived life as much. But anyway, I will see you guys next time. Bye.